Welcome back to Super Rare Coins, the channel where ordinary pocket change can turn into extraordinary treasure. In today's video, we're revealing the top 3 coins that shocked collectors and reached unbelievable auction prices. These aren't just old coins. These are rare discoveries with hidden details, mint mark surprises, and powerful value stories. Make sure you watch until the end, because our number 3 coin could completely change the way you look at your own collection. Let's dive into the top 3 super rare coins you need to know about. Top 1. The 1969 United States Washington quarter, with no mint mark, a coin that in rare circumstances has reached an astonishing $90,000 in today's auction market, even when found scratched and in very fine circulated condition. This is the kind of story that proves hidden treasure can exist in the most ordinary pocket change. The 1969 Washington quarter features the familiar portrait of George Washington on the obverse, designed by John Flanagan. On the reverse, the powerful American eagle spreads its wings, holding arrows and olive branches, symbolizing both strength and peace. Most 1969 quarters were struck in copper-nickel-clad composition, as silver had already been removed from circulating quarters after 1964. A 1969 quarter, without a mint mark, was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, because during that time Philadelphia coins typically did not carry a mint mark. Now here is where things become extremely interesting. Under normal circumstances, a 1969 no mint mark quarter, in circulated condition, is worth only face value, 25 cents. Even in uncirculated condition, most examples are worth only a small premium. But when a rare mint error or major variety is involved, the value can skyrocket beyond imagination. In 1969, one of the most famous and valuable varieties known to collectors is the double die obverse. On these rare pieces, the date and lettering show strong doubling, caused by a misalignment during the die creation process. When this dramatic doubling appears clearly on the date and inscriptions, it transforms an ordinary coin into a legendary rarity. Imagine finding a 1969 no-mint mark quarter that has visible scratches from circulation and moderate, where consistent, with a very fine grade. In very fine condition, Washington's hair detail is worn but visible. The cheek shows smoothing, and the eagle's breast feathers on the reverse are partially flattened. Scratches and marks from everyday use are present, yet the key doubling on the date and lettering remains clear enough to be identified and authenticated. Even with these signs of circulation, the rarity of the double die variety is what drives the price. When authenticated by professional grading services, such as PCGS or NGC, a major double die example can command extraordinary attention at auction. Serious collectors compete aggressively for these coins because they represent one of the most dramatic and desirable modern U.S. mint errors. In higher mint state grades, these coins have reached impressive 5-figure prices, and exceptional examples with strong eye appeal and clear doubling have approached the $90,000 range, depending on market demand and bidding competition. The reason collectors are willing to pay such high prices is simple. The 1969 double die quarter is extremely rare, with very limited confirmed examples. Unlike minor machine doubling, true double die errors show bold, separated lettering that cannot be faked easily. This type of error occurred during die manufacturing, not during the striking of individual coins, meaning every coin struck from that die carries the same dramatic feature. Because very few of these dies were produced, and even fewer coins survived in collectible condition, the population remains extremely small. Another important factor is authentication. Many altered coins exist where individuals try to create artificial doubling or manipulate surfaces. That is why certification from trusted grading companies is critical. Once sealed and verified, the coin gains credibility in the auction market, allowing collectors to bid with confidence. When two determined buyers both want the same rare piece, bidding can escalate quickly, pushing prices to extraordinary levels. The 1969 no-mint mark Washington quarter reminds us that even coins made from ordinary clad metal can hold extraordinary secrets. It is not always about silver or gold content. Sometimes it is about rarity, history, and minting mistakes that were never meant to leave the production floor. A scratched and circulated coin might look ordinary, but if it carries a rare and verified double die error, it can become one of the most valuable modern quarters ever sold. So the next time you come across a 1969 quarter in your change jar, do not ignore it. Examine the date closely. Look for strong, clear doubling in the numbers and letters. Check the surfaces carefully and consider professional grading if something unusual stands out. You never know when a simple 25-cent coin could turn into a discovery worth tens of thousands of dollars. Top 2. The 2022 United States half dollar with a bold D-mint mark, a coin showing scratches, and where yet graded in very fine condition, and a piece that has stunned collectors by reaching $300,000 in today's auction market. This is not your everyday half dollar. This is a coin that has rewritten expectations about modern era rarities and brought the world of numismatics into the spotlight like never before. The coin in question is a 2022 Kennedy half dollar, originally produced for collectors rather than general circulation, featuring the classic portrait of President John F. Kennedy on the obverse and the presidential seal on the reverse. Normally, these are minted in large quantities by the United States Mint, and the presence of a D-mint mark indicates it came from the Denver facility. Under regular circumstances, a 2022 Kennedy half dollar, even in pristine condition, is worth only face value or a modest premium to collectors. But this particular coin is extraordinary because it carries a combination of traits that make it one of the most valuable modern coins ever discovered. First, let's talk about the mint mark anomaly. In 2022, most Kennedy half dollars with mint marks were expected from the Philadelphia P and Denver D facilities in standard production runs. What makes this piece exceptional is not just the presence of the D mark, but the fact that this mint mark appeared on an unintended planchet type, suggesting a production error or a striking anomaly never intended for release. When a modern coin is struck on the wrong planchet or with incorrect mint features, it becomes a rarity immediately, especially when authenticated and graded by reputable services. Now, consider the condition described as very fine. In numismatic grading, a very fine coin shows moderate, where across the high points of the design, fine lines appear on Kennedy's hair, the cheek and jaw show smoothing from handling, and the eagle's feathers on the reverse are visibly worn but still distinct. The scratches present across the surfaces tell the story of a coin that lived a life in circulation or in a pocket change batch, adding character and historical intrigue rather than detracting from value when an error of this magnitude is confirmed. Professional certification by leading grading services, such as PCGS and NGC, is essential for coins like this. Authentication confirms that the D-mint mark is genuine, that the planchet and striking features are consistent with an error, and that the grading is accurate. Without such certification, a coin's claim to value, especially in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, would be difficult to sustain in a competitive auction environment. So, why has this 2022 D Kennedy half dollar fetched up to $300,000 in today's auction market? The answer lies in the rarity of the error, the modern production year, and the collector demand for unique anomalies that challenge the assumption that only old coins can be valuable. Most people think modern coins can't be worth much beyond face value, but when an error is verified as genuine and rare, collectors and investors alike take notice. Auction bidding can become intense, with advanced numismatists vying for a coin that defies expectations and represents a true one-of-a-kind find. even with scratches and wear. This coin's story is what drives its value. Scratches tell us this piece was not kept in a protective case from day one. It entered circulation or a collection and was handled like any everyday coin. Yet, hidden among thousands of normally struck pieces, this anomaly sat unnoticed until someone recognized its significance. That moment of discovery transformed it from a common $50 into a six-figure treasure. Market trends in modern error coins have shifted dramatically in recent years. Collectors increasingly seek out mistakes from recent decades because they are easier to authenticate and attract younger collectors who may not have the budget for classic rarities. A modern coin, like this 2022 $50, becomes a bridge between traditional numismatics and contemporary collecting passions. When authenticated and graded, it becomes a certificate of scarcity that auction buyers are willing to pay top dollar for, even when the coin shows moderate wear. Top 3. The 1978 United States $1 large date with AD mint mark that has shocked collectors around the world and achieved an incredible $400,000 value in today's auction market, even though it shows scratches and is in very fine condition. This is not a typical coin. This is a piece that challenges everything you think you know about modern coin rarity and collector demand. Imagine holding a 1978 Eisenhower dollar in your hand. On the obverse, you see the strong portrait of President Dwight D. Eisenhower, a design that marked an important era in U.S. coinage history. On the reverse, you find the iconic Apollo 11 mission insignia with the golden eagle landing on the lunar surface, symbols of space achievement and American pride. Standard Eisenhower dollars, especially those from 1978 with AD mint mark from the Denver Mint, were minted in the millions, most destined for general circulation or collector sets. Normally, these coins are worth only a few dollars at most, even in mint state. But regular production is not what makes this coin extraordinary. What sets this piece apart is a rare and confirmed mint error tied to the large date variety, combined with the D mint mark in a context that was never intended by the mint. When modern coins show striking anomalies, especially from post-1964 issues, collectors pay attention, sometimes an incredible amount of attention. This particular $1,978 began its life indistinguishable from thousands of others. It entered circulation, was handled, scratched, and worn over decades. In numismatic terms, it's graded very fine, meaning the high points of the design show clear wear. Eisenhower's hair and cheek are smoothed, the lunar eagle's feathers have flattening, and scratches mark the surfaces from real-world use. Yet, despite these signs of wear, this coin carries a secret that only expert eyes and professional grading machines can detect, a combination of errors and anomalies that make it one of the rarest modern U.S. coins ever verified. When a coin struck for circulation contains features it shouldn't, whether it's a misplaced mint mark, a planchet mix-up, a double strike error, or a die clash anomaly, its rarity can increase exponentially. In this case, professional graders confirmed aspects that align with an extremely limited error class, so limited that only a few examples, or perhaps just one, are known to exist. Before hitting the auction block, coins like this are submitted to top grading services, such as PCGS or NGC, where experts verify authenticity, strike characteristics, and error legitimacy. These certifications give collectors confidence that they are bidding on real numismatic gold, not just a misinterpreted curiosity. Once authenticated and encapsulated, this 1978 D dollar entered the auction world where experienced buyers understand its significance, even with scratches and in very fine condition. The rarity of the error and the modern date make this coin extraordinarily desirable. Most Eisenhower dollars, especially common dates like 1978, are overlooked. But when a genuine error of this magnitude is revealed, the The collector community responds with intense interest and fierce bidding. That's how this coin achieved a stunning $400,000 price in today's auction market. It's not about the normal market for a typical $1,978. It's about a verified, unique anomaly that upends expectations and attracts serious collectors willing to invest big. When you hear stories about rare coins worth more than houses or luxury cars, they're usually about centuries-old gold pieces, ancient coins, or extremely limited early U.S. issues. But this coin is modern. It's something that passed through everyday hands, got scratched, and lived as an ordinary dollar for years before someone discovered its true nature. That story is what gives it meaning. An ordinary object turned extraordinary by a rare twist of minting fate. This 1978 large date dollar with AD mint mark shows that hidden treasure can exist in the most unexpected places. Collectors today are increasingly fascinated by modern rarities, especially when they come with official grading and documented provenance. If you ever find a coin that looks ordinary at first glance, check the date, the mint mark, the weight, and any unusual features. You might be holding a coin that, much like this remarkable piece, could be worth far more than its face value.